Rounding. You guys, rounding is something we do very often in math. We actually touched on it earlier this year, and we're gonna work on it a lot this week. It's gonna be this whole week talking about rounding. Because rounding is very important to understand what's coming up, what we're doing. You need to understand rounding. But before you can even understand rounding, you need to understand place value a little bit. Has anybody heard that word before? Place value? Place value is exactly like what it sounds like. The value of the place the number is in. So, for instance, if I had the number 1, and I said I was going to pay you this much, how much money are you getting? You're getting $1 because it's in the ones place value. All right? Place value goes from this side, from the left to the right. So here we have 1. If I change this and I make it look like that, now how much money are you going to get? You're getting $10 because this 1 is in the tens place. So we have the ones place here, now the tens place. The number 1, the digit didn't change, it's still 1, but the value changed based on the place. If I changed it again and I did this, what is that 1 worth? That 1 is no longer worth $1 like it was up here. It was no longer worth $10. It's worth 100 because we moved it over another place value, okay? We're going to talk a little bit about place value throughout the lessons. Right now, what's really important is that you can tell me what's a tens place value and what's a ones place value. Should be simple, guys. Ones is always right here. It's the smallest one. All the way to the left. Tens is all the way to the right. Oh, I'm saying that wrong. I'm sorry. Ones is all the way to the right. Tens to the left. All right? Tens is the second place value in. It's not as big as hundreds. It's the second one in. All right? So when we're looking at rounding things, we need to know where we're rounding. Rounding will never ask you to round something to the ones place value. That's dumb. It's in the ones. You don't need to round it. All right? It will ask you to round things to the tens. And today's, that's what the focus is. It's going to give you a number and have you round to the tens place value. Now, when it comes to rounding, there's some simple rules. All right? We round to make things easier to add and to count because it's easier to work with zeros than with any other numbers. All right? So instead of going, what's 12 plus 18? It's easier to go, okay, well 10 plus 20 is 30. That's why we round. So when we're rounding, we have a very simple rule, all right? 4 or less, let it rest. 5 or more, let it soar. So when you're rounding, we always look to the place next to the value we're rounding to. So if we're rounding to the tens place value, and you're given the number 12. Okay, well here's the ones place, here's the tens place. I'm being asked to round to the nearest tens. Normally written like this, the tens value. So what I do is I look to the number right next to it, right next door. This number here is a 2. So is it 4 or less, let it rest, or is it 5 or more, let it soar? Good, it's 4 or less. So when we're rounding this, this becomes 10. Because the 2 keeps the 1 the same. This is the tens place value where we're rounding. The 2 is too small. It's not big enough to change anything. It's a little guy. So instead of changing it and making the 1 become a 2, we just leave it as a 1, so it's closer to 10 than it is to 20. Another way we can look at this is with a number line. And if you make a number line, you're only going to need about 3 points on your number line. You need 10, because that's where this starts with a 1. You need 20, and in the middle you need 15, because the 5 or more will tell you to soar. This is the number 12. It's is 12 closer to 10 or closer to 20? You guys should all be screaming at the screen right now, it's closer to 10, which is what we determined here, by looking at the number next to it and seeing if we go up or if we stay the same. Let's do another example. Let's do the number 26, all right? What is this gonna round to? Well, here's the tens place value, so we know we're gonna deal with that, but we need to look at the number next to it in the ones place value to tell us if we're going up or staying the same. This is a 6. Is a 6 5 or more, or is it 4 or less? I think it's 5 or more, it's bigger than 5, right? So this tells me I should be going up to 30, because if I go up, the 2 will go up, all right? If we double check it on a number line, it'll look like this. We got 20 down here, and we always pick that number based on what this first digit is, and then we always just add 1 to that first digit to see what's coming next. 25 in the middle. 26 is here. Is that closer to 30 or closer to 20? You guys should know that it's closer to 30, and so 30 is the answer. Today's work is mainly focused on identifying which is in the ones place and which is in the tens place, so that you can continue to learn that and become better at rounding as we continue throughout this week. Please don't stress, it's not super hard, but do take your time and put in a serious effort. The password for today is solar system. If you don't know the password, I won't be able to reteach you the lesson. Good luck, guys. Bye.